Hello there. I hope all of you are feeling good. Last session we worked on solving incomplete quadratic equations by factoring. In this session, we are going to solve complete quadratic equations by factoring. Complete quadratic equations. Complete quadratic equations can be divided to two parts. Complete quadratic equations. The first type of complete quadratic equations is the quadratics in them. Leader coefficient is 1, and they can be written in form of x squared plus bx plus c equals 0. These are complete quadratic equations. In them, the leader coefficient, here, is 1. Then this is the first group of complete quadratic equations, and the second group are the complete quadratic equations. In them, the leader coefficient is not 1, and they are in form of ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. In these, a is not equal to 1. Today, we are going to solve the first type of these quadratic equations. The best way to solve these quadratic equations is using sum and product method. Using sum and product method. Using sum and product method. Okay, guys, to make clear our topic, I'm going to give some examples. Example, solve. As first example, I'm going to write number 1, x squared plus 5x plus 6 equals 0. Guys, pay attention that if you want to solve a quadratic equation by factoring, the equation should be in its standard form. Unfortunately, this equation is in the standard form. If you want to solve this one by factoring, you should look for the leader coefficient. In here, leader coefficient is 1. Then, straightforward, we can solve this one by sum and product method. To use sum and product method, open two parentheses and put them equal to 0. Inside each of these parentheses, square root of this term should be set. What is square root of x squared? That is x. An x here and other x here. This number stands for product and this one stands for sum. Then we should look for two numbers. Their product is positive and their product is positive 6 and their sum is positive 5. Since product is positive, we can conclude the two numbers we are looking for them both have the same signs, or both of them are positive or both of them are negative. Since their sum is positive, then both of them are positive. At this step, we can say, okay, this sum, which is 5, should be written as sum of two positive numbers. Starting from the smallest positive integer, which is 1, the first option to write this one as sum of two positive numbers can be 1 plus 4. But product of 1 and 4, multiplying 1 times 4, won't make 6, then this option doesn't work. The next option can be the integer after 1, 2, and the other one can be 3. 2 times 3 makes 6, then this option is acceptable. Therefore, in here we can put x plus 2 times x plus 3. Now, as you see, product of two factors has become equal to 0. Therefore, you can say, according to the zero product property, the first factor is equal to 0, or the second factor is equal to 0, or the second factor equals 0. And as you see, now we have two simple linear equations and we should solve them. Keep x in the left side and move this 2 to the right side. You will reach to x equals -2, the first solution. And then in the second equation, keep x in the left side and move 3 to the other side. And you can get x equals -3, which is the second solution. Let me write one more example. Number 2. X squared minus 7x plus 12 equals 0. Again, as you see, the leader coefficient in this equation is 1. Therefore, to solve this one, we can use zero product property and we can use sum and product method. To use sum and product method, again, open two parentheses and put them equal to 0. Inside each of these parentheses, you should put a square root of this quadratic term. The square root of that is x, and x here, another x in this parentheses. Now, this 12, this positive 12 stands for product, and this -7 stands for sum. Product is positive. Then the numbers we are looking for them have the same signs, and since their sum is negative, then we conclude both of them are negative. Therefore, this sum, which is -7, this sum, which is -7, should be written as sum of two negative numbers, starting from the greatest negative number, which is -1. The other negative number can be -6. But -1 times -6 won't make 12. This option is not acceptable. Let's go to next option. The negative number before -1 is -2. By -2, the next negative number, which will make -7, is -5. Again, you can see -2 times -5 won't make 12. Then this option is unacceptable too. Go to the third option, -3 plus -4. As you see, -3 times -4 makes +12. Then this option is acceptable. And using this, we can write here -3 and -4. Therefore, using zero product property, you can write x minus 3 equals 0, or x minus 4 equals 0. Solving the first equation will result in x equals 3, which is the first solution. And solving the second equation will result in x equals 4, which is the second equation. Okay, guys, till now we have solved two examples. Now let me write the third one, example number 3. For the third one, I'm going to write x squared minus 3x minus 18 equals 0. Okay, at this example, as you see, the product is negative and sum is negative. This stands for product and this number stands for sum. Since product is negative, one of those two numbers we are looking for them is negative and the other is positive. And since their sum is negative, then you can claim the negative one's absolute value is greater than the positive ones. To solve this equation, open two parentheses and put them equal to 0. And in each of these parentheses, square root of this one should be written. What is the square root of x to the power 2? That is x. And x here, another x here. This sum, which is -3, should be written as a negative number plus a positive number. Starting with the negative number exactly before -3. What is before -3? That is -4. -4 plus 1. -4 plus 1 is -3, but product of these two, -4 times 1, is not -18. Then this option doesn't work. Go to the next option, -5 plus 2. -5 times 2 won't make -18. Then this one won't work. And the third option is -6 plus 3. -6 times 3 makes 18, -18. Then this option will work here. Then in here, we can write -6 and +3. After factoring the left side, you can use zero product property. Using zero product property says the first factor is equal to 0 or the second factor is equal to 0. Solving the first linear equation will result in x equals to 6, and the second linear equation will result in x equals to -3. And these are the solutions of this equation. Let me write one more example. Number 4. X squared plus 2x minus 35 equals 0. This is our fourth example. As you see in this example, the leader coefficient is 1. Therefore, again, we can use sum and product method. And as you see from the equation, in this equation, -35 stands for product, and this +2 stands for sum. Since product is negative, then the two numbers we are looking for them should have different signs. And since their sum is positive, the positive one's absolute value is greater than the absolute value of -1. I'm going to use zero product property and sum and product method to factor this one. To factor this one, I should open two parentheses like this and put this equal to 0. Square root of this term, this quadratic term, should be written in each of these two parentheses. The square root of x2 is x, one x here, another x here. And now I should look for two numbers. Their product is -35 and their sum is +2. Therefore, this +2 should be written as a positive number plus a negative number. Starting with positive integer exactly after 2, 3, the negative number can be -1. 3 times -1 won't make -35, then this option is unacceptable. Go to the next option, 4 plus -2. Multiplication of 4 and -2 is -8, not -35. Then this option won't work again. The next option, 5 plus -2. This one doesn't work. The next one, 6 plus, I made a mistake here. Excuse my mistake. This is -3, guys. 6 plus -4. Again, this doesn't work. And 7 plus -5, but this one works. Therefore, in here you can write x plus 7 times x minus 5, which is equal to 0. Using zero product property, you can have x plus 7 equals 0 or x minus 5 equals 0. Solving the first equation will result in x equals -7, the first solution, and solving the second one will result in x equals 5. This is the second solution. As I told you in the beginning of the session, to solve any quadratic equation using factoring method, the equation should be in its standard form. Sometimes we will face with equations that are not in their standard form. For example, look at this example, number 5. Parentheses x plus 1 times x minus 2 equals 4. This equation's appearance is so that most of you will say this is not a quadratic equation, but it should be because linear times linear. Here is linear, here is another linear. Linear times linear will make quadratic. Then, first of all, we should turn this one to a standard quadratic equation. To do that, we should first get rid of this parentheses. To get rid of this parentheses, we should do this multiplication. If you do the multiplication, you will reach to x squared minus 2x plus x minus 2 equals 4. Then move all the terms to the left side and simplify them as much as possible. Then moving all the terms to left and simplifying them will result in x squared minus x, because negative 2x plus x makes negative x, and moving 4 to the other side will turn it to negative 4, negative 2, and negative 4 makes negative 6 equals to 0. And as you see, now we have a quadratic equation and its standard form. In this quadratic equation, this term stands for product, and this negative, which is in fact negative 1, stands for sum. Okay, as you see here, product is negative. Then the two numbers, we should look for them, will have different signs, and their sum is negative. Then the absolute value of negative 1 will be bigger. I'm going to use sum and product method. To use sum and product method, I'm opening two parentheses and I put the result equal to 0. In each of these two parentheses, square root of this term, x squared, should come, and the square root is x, and x here, another x here. And this sum, which is negative 1, should be written as a negative number plus a positive number. The integer exactly before negative 1 is negative 2. Negative 2 plus 1 equals negative 1. Product of these two numbers, negative 2 and 1, doesn't make negative 6. Then this option is not acceptable. I'm going to the next option. The negative integer before negative 2 is negative 3, and here the positive one can be 2. Negative 3 times negative 2 makes negative 6. Then this option is acceptable. Negative 3 here, positive 2 here. And now use zero product property. Using zero product property will result in x minus 3 equals 0, or x plus 2 equals 0. Solving the first linear equation will result in x equals 3, which is the first solution, and solving the second one will result in x equals negative 2, that is the second solution. And this is the way of solving this equation.